Hello and welcome. I'm Totreb, and today I'm going to be recording a little bit of a comparison video between the Blue Yeti microphone and the Samson G-Track. I've been using the Samson G-Track for probably about 6 months now on any kind of videos and streaming I've done. Just capturing raw footage from it. Didn't really do any kind of editing or filters or anything like that. And I recently received the Blue Yeti as a kind of a raffle prize from Fallout Plays, who is one of the big Destiny streamers right now. He's on the Planet Destiny podcast and has really great stuff. If you play Destiny, go check him out. But he sent me the Blue Yeti, and I thought it was a good opportunity because when I was buying microphones, I actually had considered the Blue Yeti and the Samson G-Track as options. A lot of people had recommended both, mostly Blue Yeti, honestly, but I kind of did some research and decided to go with the Samson, and always kind of wondered whether or not it was a good choice. And so I kind of want to make a video now that I had both in hand and compared the two of them to see what I actually thought was better and what the differences were, and what was better for what kind of scenarios. I also, in the meantime, had kind of learned about DAWs, D-A-W, the digital audio workstations, which is what you see on the screen right here. This is Reaper. It is one that has a free trial if you want to check it out. It's a really good one. I'm actually using the 4.7.8 version. The new version, the 5 version, doesn't have live monitoring that I could find at all. I did some Googling and couldn't find it. So I ended up going with this one so you can actually hear the changes you make in real time. I'll go into that a little bit. But essentially, this is more about what is better between the Blue Yeti and the Samson. I used this workstation to capture the raw audio and then applied some filters to make it sound as the best I could, basically, between both of them. And we'll jump right into it. So first of all, I am recording right now on the Samson. It's the one I have set up on my mic arm with a pop filter. But when I record, I'll show you which one I'm using on the screen itself and on the camera. So you can kind of hear the differences and kind of decide for yourself. Okay, had a little bit of a technical difficulty. I am going to open up the options here, but whenever I open them up, you won't be able to hear me. I didn't realize that, so I was just talking over it the whole time. So I have to re-record this part. But essentially, when I choose the options, I'm going to show you that there's a mic input and a mic output. The mic input, I have the USB audio codec is my Samson, and then the Yeti is called Yeti. So I'm going to switch between those. I'm going to record raw footage from each from a script that I have that I found on the internet. And then I'm going to show you the difference between raw footage and filtered between each of them. But I'm going to show you the options here real quick. They are outputting to a digital audio cable that I use that basically you choose as an input source. It outputs from here, the filtered audio, and then it inputs it as your mic device in OBS or Discord or whatever you choose as your device. So here's this options. Okay, and that's just the options I use. It's pretty simple. Basically, it's just choosing input and output devices. So what I'm going to do first is I have the Samson right here, as you can see in my. That's the mic I'm using right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just record. I'm going to turn off the filter first. You're going to hear a pretty big difference between the two. Show you what they are. The filters, I'm using a compression filter, which basically just kind of squashes it if I get too loud. An EQ that I've built based on my voice, just kind of did a lot of testing and replaying and seeing what I think sounds the best for me. And then a subtraction filter, essentially what this does is removes background noise. So you'll be able to hear the difference just even without me talking between this one. So that's with the filter off. And then this is with the filter on. So it just kind of removes that, a little bit of background noise of a fan going, things like that. It's a really handy filter. This is actually the EQ filter that I use. You can hear the difference between the raw and what the EQ sounds like. I think I'll sound a little bit better like this personally. But what I'm going to do is I've created this. You can see it's Samson here and here. I've created a Yeti and Samson profile for each. You can see when I quit talking that the ambient noise follows this little red line, and it actually creates it for you. So that's why it's filtering that background noise. That's the persistent noise. I'll show you when I switch to the Yeti, the same thing. It has a slightly different profile, and I'll show you when I record with the Yeti that is from the Yeti itself. So I'm going to turn off this, my script here. I'm going to turn off the EQ and the other effects and go ahead and read this and record it. People were pleased to find that Peter Piper had picked a couple pages for Fable fans at LibriVox. Thankful that this was Thursday the 30th, the Piper anticipated forum fun and a wonderful weekend of recording. Okay. And I'm going to go here. Stop this thing. Go here to the end. I'm going to switch to the Yeti in the options so you won't be able to hear me for a second. Okay. And now I should be coming through on the Yeti with completely unfiltered. I'm going to hold it up here so you can see. Sorry if it's jumbling around making a lot of noise. Get the camera. So this is the Blue Yeti. As you can see, when I tap it, it makes the noise. Set this back down. Okay. Now I have calibrated to where both of them are very similar. If you look down here in the corner, I tried to get it as close as I could to when I'm normally talking. It's peaking about the same spot. So I tried to calibrate the sensitivity to where they were comparable between each other. Now this is the Yeti EQ I created and the Yeti baseline for noise filter. As you can see, it's a little bit higher. I go back to the Samson, and this is where the kind of baseline is for that. And then I go to the Yeti, and it's a little bit higher. I mean, that might be just me not calibrating quite as well, but it does seem that it's a little more sensitive to picking up noise. So yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and turn off the EQ again, or the FX, and record the raw footage with the Yeti. People were pleased to find that Peter Piper had picked a couple pages for Fable fans at LibriVox. Thankful that this was Thursday the 30th, the Piper anticipated forum fun and a wonderful weekend of recording. Okay. I'm going to switch back to the Samson for the rest of the recording because I don't need to record anything else with the Yeti. Oh, did I mess that up? No, okay, cool. So I got the Samson on both of those. Okay. So now what I can do with this program, I can actually play back the raw audio if I turn the effects off, and if I turn it on, it actually applies it to that. So you'll be able to hear the raw audio back to back between the Samson and the Yeti if I turn the effects off, and then I'll be able to turn the effect on with the Samson and then switch the effects to the Yeti that I have and have it go ahead and play back with that. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to play back the raw footage with the Samson and then the Yeti. I'm going to play it back with no effects on, which I don't have on right now, which is why I don't sound as great as I do. And I'm going to disarm my mic so you're not getting any kind of input from me. People were pleased to find that Peter Piper had picked a couple pages for Fable fans at LibriVox. Thankful that this was Thursday the 30th, the Piper anticipated forum fun and a wonderful weekend of recording. People were pleased to find that Peter Piper had picked a couple pages for Fable fans at LibriVox. Thankful that this was Thursday the 30th, the Piper anticipated forum fun and a wonderful weekend of recording. Okay, and that was back-to-back raw footage of the Samson and then the Yeti. Now I'm going to turn my effects back on. Okay, so I have the Samson and the Yeti both of these are Samson. First recording I'm going to play back. Then I'm going to switch my settings to the Yeti and play back the second recording back to back. Also going to mute before I start this. People were pleased to find that Peter Piper had picked a couple pages for Fable fans at LibriVox. Thankful that this was Thursday the 30th, the Piper anticipated forum fun and a wonderful weekend of recording. People were pleased to find that Peter Piper had picked a couple pages for Fable fans at Librivox. Thankful that this was Thursday the 30th, the Piper anticipated forum fun and a wonderful weekend of recording. Okay. Now that should do that for the comparisons. I'm going to go ahead and stop here and listen to them both and then come back to record a conclusion. Okay, I am back. I've listened to all of the footage back to back, kind of isolated everything. I had a couple issues with muting, so I had to re-record a couple sessions. But overall, I think that you'll probably agree if you listen to it that the Samson sounds a little bit better. For our purposes, for CoGPod, for just podcasting, Twitch, YouTube, things like that, I'm going to go ahead and stick with it. I think the Blue Yeti is probably the better versatile mic. So if you have a lot of applications that you need it for rather than just sitting in front of it and recording one voice, I think it's going to be a better bet for you. The Yeti is going to be better for like group scenarios. It has 4 pickup patterns, and they really do market it as a versatile mic, and that's why. It has the cardioid pattern, which is kind of set for podcasting for, 1 or 2 people talking into it. It has an omnidirectional, which is kind of set in the middle of a room or a table, recording like D&D sessions or, group meetings, things like that. Omnidirectional will be for that. It has bidirectional for front and back for interviewing, if you want one mic between 2 people. And then it also has stereo pickup. The Samson seems to be more of a single purpose mic. It has a super cardioid pickup pattern, and it's a little bit narrower, more focused, and I think it does it very well. If you hear the differences, the Blue sounded a little canny almost. It sounded a little open, and I think that, it's the jack of all trades mic. So for what we're doing, I'm going to stick with the Samson. If you have any questions about the conclusions or see any glaring issues in my methodology, then let me know in the comments or shoot us a tweet. I'm on Twitter at Totreb, same as here on YouTube. I think that my methodology was pretty sound. I tried to be as quasi-scientific as I could. I made sure that my peak levels on both mics were pretty similar as much as I could to make it, as level of a playing field as possible. And then I also made separate profiles for each to ensure that I tried to make it sound as good as it could. You also heard the raw footage, so even without filters, you could hear there was a pretty decent difference between them. But that's all for today. If you want to see more, come check us out at thecogpod.net. We do a podcast every week, and just a few weeks in right now, but we're having a lot of fun with that. We also stream a little bit on Twitch, make some YouTube content here and there. But if so, you know where to find me. Thanks. Bye.